Drug synergy. Here's my story of how I know this is true with benzos. Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog coming at you. Remember, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. Thank you everyone for the love and support. We hit 5K on YouTube. Yeah! In the past, I've talked about drug synergy, where 1 + 1 = 3 in the brain. Certain drugs you take with another drug, you know, they both have their, quote, effect in the brain, and that's kind of it. Other combinations, they boost each other in the brain. When they meet, and it is very dangerous. Basically, like, imagine waves coming together in the ocean. Sometimes they just kind of go over each other, and then they both, you know, keep going their own way, and they're the same height. But when it's just right, and two waves both meet and hit each other, and then all of a sudden it's a double size, huge, if not bigger wave. Two things hitting at the perfect time don't just double, they boost each other way more. This is definitely true with benzos and a lot of drugs. Talked about it with benzos and opioids. It's why so many heroin and opioid addicts love taking benzos before they get high, because it boosts their high. This is incredibly true with benzos and alcohol, and here's my story of how I know this. This is during college one night. We were partying. Night number one, I had a 12-pack. I was drinking, we were playing beer pong, we're playing games, blah, blah, blah. So over the course of 6 to 8 hours of partying, I had that 12-pack, and then we went to the bar and I had a couple more drinks. At this point, I had a pretty substantial tolerance for alcohol. I always had a high tolerance for alcohol. But all said and done, 15, 16 beers equivalent, or shots, or whatever you want to call it, in my system. The end of this, I was, you know, drunk, sure. This was a normal weekend night for me where, you know, I walked, I talked, people around would probably say, yeah, he's got a little buzz, but it wouldn't be like incredibly noticeable. Fast forward, the next night, same situation, pretty much same everything going on. Here's the only big difference. Night number 2, 5 o'clock, before we start partying and drinking, I pop 2 Xanax, so 2 milligrams total. I had popped benzos here and there, you know, up to this point, whenever I could get my hands on them, but I didn't have a daily tolerance, so 2 milligrams was definitely a somewhat of a fair amount for somebody without a daily tolerance. Took those 2, again got my 12-pack that I always started with, and proceeded to do the same actions pretty much that I did the night before. After beer 4, I immediately noticed something was different. It felt like I was on beer 9. Every beer felt double. It was just, oh my God, how am I so wobbly and goofy off of 4 beers? The night before I had probably 16 and I was fine. Even other people there were like, bro, you all right? What happened? You lightweight all of a sudden, and, you know, busting my balls a little bit. By beer 7 or 8, I could not walk. I could not move. I could not walk. I was stumbling, wobbling, totally just the equivalent of like having 20 without the benzos. And continued to have another 1 or 2. And at this point in time, it was probably 9, 10 o'clock. The rest of the night was a complete blackout. That is the other major side effect. You know, you guys might have dealt with this too, especially the people, you know, who drank heavily. Benzos and alcohol are infamous for blackouts. Infamous. And a lot of times it's the, quote, coherent walking blackout, meaning we're blacked out, but to everyone on the outside, they can't tell. Some blackouts, I feel like you look at somebody and you're like, holy shit, they are messed up. Other blackouts, it's like, I'm sitting there talking to Bob all night. Everything's great. We're playing beer pong, play some darts, blah, blah, blah. The next morning, Bob's like, dude, I don't remember anything. And what do you mean? Like, you were right next to me. We were talking the whole night. You weren't even slurring or anything. You were in a blackout. So that's like the coherent blackout, which benzos are infamous for. The rest of that period, I was in a total blackout that night. Apparently, I ended up getting in a fight at my house, ended up challenging some wrestlers. You know, I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot, 250. And there was the school I went to had Division I wrestling. So there were some great freaking wrestlers there. A couple of them were there, and we were getting into a little bit of an argument with them, a couple of my buddies and them. And apparently, you know, we start going at it, and this kid who was about literally half my size just scooped me up and just dropped me like one of those scoop and score wrestling moves. I guess I ended up getting some serious, once he was like on top of me with doing the wrestling stuff. But what he underestimated is we're not in a wrestling ring. You're gonna fight, anything goes. So as soon as he got on top of me and is doing the whole wrestling stuff, I just boom, 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 started punching his head as many times as I could, front, back, all of it. And this messed him up pretty good. But I don't remember any of this. This is all me being told. That's what's insane. Then apparently there was another part of the night where we lived on this street where we lived in a house, but there's, you know, residents like normal families and teachers and stuff that live on the houses next to us. Apparently I'm going up to people's door and knocking on it, like my professor's boss's door, and knocking on it, waking people up at 2 a.m, complete blackout with half the amount of alcohol as the night before, but just adding benzos in. This is where it is extremely dangerous. People drive, people do stupid shit on this. I guess I tried to get in my car and drive somewhere, and thank God my buddies would not let me. But that's the other part of it that makes it insane and dangerous. All said and done, you know, wake up, blood, black eye, my nose is messed up, my back and my neck are killing me from getting, you know, basically body slammed through a table, hit my head on there, my hand is killing me, show up to the cafeteria the next day. I don't remember most of it. The kid I fought is there. Luckily, he took it very well. He actually came up to me and we, you know, squashed everything right away. But I didn't recognize him. He could have came up to me as somebody just walking and blast me in the face. I wouldn't have known it was him. But he came up and, you know, he actually, ironically, had a lot of respect for each other where, you know, dude, you scooped me, you dropped the shit out of me. I was like, you got me good, man. And he's like, yo, bro, you crushed my head. You were just pounding it. That's what's crazy. Don't remember any of it. Knocking on doors, trying to get in my car and drive. And this is some blackouts are like bits and pieces pop up. This is like straight up 7-8 hours of zero recollection, no memory with half the alcohol as the night before. The benzo blackout is real and incredibly dangerous.